I thought it'd be a great opportunity to start interviewing some of the politicians that I come across every day. And I thought you would be a great one, just based on, obviously our great relationship, but some of the immediate work that's about to be done in Wilkinsburg. Aside from obviously, the work that's being done with the Donald Development Group, you've done an amazing job with overall development of a really small borough like Wilkinsburg. So we just want to make sure that we at least have an opportunity to highlight your thoughts around housing and overall development in the city.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that too, because my hands are in every single thing that's going on there, whether it was, me bringing y'all to the borough or,
Yeah.
um, letters of support. People are not only coming here to live, they're bringing their business here. Like, or SEIU Union, they were downtown for years, but, they came and bought the building in Wilkinsburg on Penn
Oh,
Avenue.
wow.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of people. We got Gwen Girls. They're doing a whole new build, not a whole new, a revamp, right across the street from the Borough Building. It's a huge building, so that's going to be an amazing place.
Okay. And what Janice is probably going to be doing, she's going to be leading it. Is giving you a hard time too, Janice? I didn't see it on mine.
No, I figured it out.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we're recording right now, by the way.
So I'll give Janice an opportunity to introduce herself. Janice has been working with me over the past 5 months. It's kind of like intern project admin to get her feet wet with a lot of the different developments that I'm doing. I have her involved as well on the project with Sky Moore over in New Kensington. So she's kind of getting her feet wet with, real estate development as a whole. But do you want to introduce yourself, Janice? I'm sorry.
Sure. So, well, first off, hi, it's lovely to meet you. So I'm basically as of 2 weeks ago, I just graduated from Drexel with my degree in entrepreneurship and a minor in real estate. And I'm really interested in development, specifically on the affordable side. I think affordable housing is really important. And I know it's going to get harder to do affordable housing, which is why it's like really important that I learn and like basically position myself to be in a good position to do development. And I've been working with Ryan for a couple months now. I started out doing just some social media stuff, but as of right now, I'm getting to learn more and more about development, meet some more people, and see what actually goes on behind closed doors, which has been really cool. So, and I guess we'll be asking you some questions for the newsletter. We just have some questions prepared about Wilkinsburg, what it's like to be the mayor, and all of the current initiatives you've got going on. So
Perfect. Again, I appreciate you all. Yes.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you taking the time. So I guess my first question is, are you from Wilkinsburg originally? And if not, why are you mayor?
No, I'm not from Wilkinsburg originally, but I'm from the east side of Pittsburgh, Lincoln, as well as Garfield. I chose Wilkinsburg years ago, so I can't, be faulted for where my mom and dad or anybody live. But I chose to take my roots and move them over to Wilkinsburg and plant them and have children. I chose to run because I was on school board first, and so we were doing a lot of good things. Wilkinsburg had the highest property tax in the county for years, and with the work we're doing with school board, we were able to lower it about 5 times. So now we are lower than everyone around us. Like Penn Hills is where we used to be. Swiftville, Edgewood, and all them, they're still above us. So we're lower than everyone we're touching besides the city of Pittsburgh. So I felt like once the mayor that we had previously, she wasn't running, I thought it'd be a perfect representation, because we all know the local mayors are usually a mascot. But if I'm gonna be a mascot, I'm gonna be the Chicago Bulls of the '90s mascot.
For sure.
So having been the mayor, what are some initiatives that are closest to your heart? That's like most important to you?
The closest to me are the crime. Sorry, the crime. We have Pure Violence Eats, a group that's a nonprofit. They came there and outside of Community Forge, they came to help on the ground. The police can't do everything. Everyone does. They don't want to talk to the police, so they're on the ground. Talking to people. Anything happen there, goes to the scene. They'll talk to the families. they've stopped a lot of things from happening before it happened. Just putting people together like, look, we all have to live here. We are people. So that's mainly been the thing, because violence is, no matter if it's good or bad, as a mayor, you're going to get, judged for it. It's your responsibility.
Yeah.
And at that time, my main thing was the police, as in most weak mayors, but we had a home rule charter where I have more. I'm the CEO of the city, so I have a lot more responsibility. And knowing that was going to happen, talking with Ryan, and development is right there also. This is the first time in generations that we had development in all three boroughs. Last time this happened, I couldn't walk in certain parts of Wilkinsburg. That's how, Black people knew they couldn't go there. And that wasn't even in the 50s, 60s. That was in like 81, 85 still going on. So this is the first time in my history that we had development in all three boroughs. And all three wards, and I say all three, but my push is to make one Wilkinsburg. We all need each other. We have the affordable housing with Ryan and them. We have the affordable housing with Hosanna House on Penn Avenue. But we also have for-profit going on in our Regent Square area, because we all know you cannot sustain as a community with 100% affordable housing. So we do have to have that market rate housing going on too. So I'm loving it.
Okay, so can you talk more to me about being CEO of the city? What does that mean? Has this always been a thing, or is this something new that you've developed?
It's not a group of people came together and did a home rule charter where we basically changed the way we govern. Most municipalities, boroughs and everything, they can't adjust any taxes or anything in the state of Pennsylvania. The state of Pennsylvania really has a stronghold on their communities, and there's just so many. So we had a group of people that came together. We had a vote, and they chose to let us be a little more free. And they didn't listen to everything that I said. My suggestion, I didn't want more money. My suggestion was more so, if you're going to raise like an occupational tax 1%, that go directly to the school so we can lower property taxes. But instead, they did it and they raised my salary as well as the council's salary. And so as the CEO now, I am the borough manager's boss, as well as the boss of the police and just them two entities, but everything's still under them. But I am the guy. I'm the dude.
Wow. Okay. That's a really interesting restructuring.
Yes.
And you also mentioned briefly something about how the boroughs were very segregated up until the 80s.
Yes.
And why do you feel that is?
Because Wilkinsburg was primarily white. And so as the steel mills closed, people left the neighborhood. So start going in there, then it was a lot of disinvestment going on. You can't even blame the gangs or anything. There was just no investment period going on in the borough. So it led to a decline because it seemed like no one cared. And but once it switched, now we're the 6th largest Black neighborhood in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So there was like a lot of like white flight, but like in the 80s, like after. Wow.
It was still happening, because that's what happened to our schools too, because people would move to Wilkinsburg, but as soon as their kids were school age, they would leave or not send their kids to Wilkinsburg. So we were getting a lot of people like, look, I don't want to have taxes out to pay for this when my kids don't go there. Or though a lot of people still to this day feel like, why should I pay these taxes when I don't have kids or my kids are adults? But I said, don't blame us, blame Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has billions of dollars where they can fund these schools and not have a high property tax, but they choose to put a stronghold and oppress people. There was a study that came out that's oppressive what they're doing.
Yeah, there's a couple different bills that are out there right now at the state level to help remove property taxes off the burdens of some of the local communities, because as you stated, it can be shuffled around and done at the state level. There are obviously some things that happen when that does happen, but ultimately I do think that is something that's of interest, because you have a lot of families that are hurting right now, and that monies that are being paid out through taxes could potentially be going to other areas to potentially seed other investments or to being able to spend money locally with their overall community.
Yeah. It's real. It's real. And then you see places where there's no blight. Everyone has a property value. I mean, property owners, and those schools thrive. But then you see a neighborhood like Wilkinsburg where we're like 60% renters. And we got blighted property out the U-Haul. It just falls on the waist to the people that got the higher value homes, and not we can't even bring up in Allegheny County there haven't been a property assessment in over 12 years. So it's like,
wow,
these homes are worth more, but they're not being assessed. Like my wife's grandmother, she lived in a beautiful 3-bedroom, full attic, full basement, backyard, carport, deck home in Wilkinsburg on Monterey Street, and it's only valued at $27,000. If she left, somebody could move right in without having to do anything, and the value is just dirt cheap. Her property tax a year is about $300. So how is that going to help anyone? But at the same thing, if we do assess, I like what Mayor Ed Gainey's doing in the city. He's trying to push that if you're a longtime homeowner, you can keep paying what you're paying. But we do got to raise the value of these properties. That's also, generational wealth too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So for you, development is also about increasing the wealth of folks who already live there, who already invested properties there. And finally, they can think of their property as not just a place to live, but also an investment, which is something that a lot of other neighborhoods have. But Wilkinsburg might be falling a little bit behind. Is that kind of what I'm getting?
Yeah. And if the property's not sold or anything, there won't be any reassessment. I use my cousin as an example all the time. He bought a 3-bedroom apartment building, but once he got it up to code and everything, he was able to get it reassessed and took the value of that and bought 4 more properties.
Right.
Just from that one apartment building he had.
That's great. Good for your brother. Or your cousin. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said for the first time in a generation, you've got development in all 3 boroughs of Wilkinsburg. Do you think that pace is going to accelerate, stay the same? And what can be done to keep that development going?
I think it's going to increase because we're under a microscope. A few years ago, Wilkinsburg went through some residents trying to do an annexation to get us with the city of Pittsburgh. And that brought a lot of people together, a lot of groups. Now we have a land bank. Wilkinsburg Land Bank. We were like dealing with land banks that could only do 1 or 2 properties a year. Now we're getting approved and we're getting the funding where I think they just got approved for 35 houses.
Great.
Getting those titles cleaned and everything. We have people also looking at our abandoned or lots we have. We have a lot of torn down houses. We have a lot of lots, and they're looking to do a scattered development where they'll do 3 or 4 houses at a time and do home ownership programs so they can get people, first-time buyers, into those homes right away. Like soon as it's done, they went through the program together already. They have the funding, and they'll move in. So we're on the uprise right now. We just have to capitalize and keep, the stank of people trying to talk about the old Wilkinsburg, but they haven't been to Wilkinsburg in 10 years.
So the land bank, you said that's new, right? When was that founded?
2 years ago. Time goes so fast. I was going to say, so it's been about 2 years, since they've been established. They've been getting a lot of funding from the past couple state reps we had. So yeah, it's been about 2 years, and they're still in infancy, but they're finally at a place where they're getting property.
Is there anything you wish like developers would know about the land bank, or how to use it, or how to best capitalize on the new entity that you have?
I just say anyone I meet, I tell them to go down there and check them out, talk to them. I'll set up meetings because most of these neighborhoods, them tangled titles are what's really just having places sitting there rotting away. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know how to go about getting them cleared. A lot of people, they can't just go do a vacant property recovery program. They can't do that because they want you to show the money right there up front. But if you work with the land bank and acquire the property, it's yours. You can start working on it. You can get it done and either you can move it in or sell it. But one thing they did add in there was something to stop the predators. So if you try to sell the house for like triple the value, they'll put an uh, extra lien on the house, basically. So when it's sold or anything, they get some money back, extra mortgage, basically, just to stop people from just buying and just trying to do dirty.
Okay. That's really interesting. You were able to get these, that the land bank and your administration was able to get these guardrails in place. That's really important.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's for the people. A lot of this is like community driven. A lot of people from the community and just like, look, I believe, and they started it.
okay. Wow. It's really great to hear that you have things that can protect your longtime residents.
Mhm.
Okay. So we talked about the land bank and how that was funded 2 years ago. Are there any other new pieces, new organizations, new policies, new legislation that is new, close to your heart, and you feel it has a ton of potential going forward?
Oh yeah, we have a lot of partnerships, should I say? Metro Community Health, they're a health clinic. They started in Wilkinsburg years ago. They left,
Okay.
and now they are full throttle back. They've been all of our children that goes to our elementary schools. If they need anything, they can go there for free. They set up clinics down there all the time. Last year for Thanksgiving, we partnered up and we gave out over 400 turkeys, plus
Awesome.
the full fixing too: turkeys, fresh collard greens, and the yams, bread, all of that. And if the people they couldn't make it for that, we spent about $8,000 on basically gift cards from local businesses. So we stayed in Wilkinsburg. So we had a Perfection at its Best as a restaurant. Royal Caribbean is a restaurant.
Oh, yes, my
Nancy's,
spot.
oh yeah, we people love that when we was giving them out. Nancy's, it's a breakfast spot. Who else did we have? We had Walmart gift cards, Kohl gift cards, Save a Lot gift cards. We just passed them out so much that we kept going that. So if me or the police, we see anyone that need, we give them a gift card. The gift cards are about $50 a piece. If it's a big family, we'll give them two or three. So Metro, they've been doing a lot. It's a partnership. So I'm excited for that partnership. We got, like I said, told you before we was recording, we had a group of Gwen's girls who's out to help the youth women out there. Like, there's so many programs out there for the men that a lot of these women get forgotten on the wayside. And it's about evening that out. It's about evening out. We got Community Forward that they're building a music venue attached to their thing. So it's a new music, a place for concerts and everything. We just got a lot going on. I'm just excited for it all.
Okay. All right. And then what else did I want to ask you? Do you have any other vision that you're really excited about, if you're for the next couple years, or if you're elected again? What's your vision?
When you're elected again.
When I'm
Okay.
elected again, my vision is to do everything that I can to get this legacy Wilkinsburg with Ryan and the Donalds cracking. They got that community center. That's the crazy thing about it. I knew nothing about this before when I got elected last time, and my whole goal was to have a community center. So now that we got this going on, I'm looking for another part of the neighborhood to get a community center. I'm working with some people. I think we need a bowling alley. And so we used to have one. They tore it down our park a lot, and it's private money. So it's like they have the money. So they're all from the community. They came together and they want to build something. First, they were talking about a pool, but I'm like, I love a pool, but no. Who's going to man it? Who's going to do the chemicals? The borough cannot afford to do that. So I think a bowling alley, skating rink is my goal, along with another community center for this next term. I already started one thing. We are short on police, but we've I made sure we partner up with the Allegheny County Police Academy. So now we're going to pay for people to go to the academy when they get out, and while they're in there, they'll get paid. And when they're done, there'll be a police officer. And once they're on, after about 6 to 8 months, they'll get a $5,000 bonus. So we're going to the high schools. for seniors, and that's the best time to get them, where they're, you know, they got the youthfulness in them. Who is 18 or 19 that's coming out of a high school making 84,000 a year, and in 3 years will be making about 96,000, and that's just base before actual overtime. So you 19 years old. Imagine being 21 making 100,000 a year. Coming out of college, you're praying that you make 50. And realistically, people are coming out of college making 30, 40. So, you know, we're just trying. That's one thing I'm proud of, and keep pushing to this partnership. Just to, you know, all police aren't bad. We got to take it back to being community-oriented police. How they're supposed, what the acronym is supposed to be. You know, you shouldn't just walk around. I mean, ride around all day. You got to walk around. You got to be in the community. We got to, you know these people. If you don't know Miss Abernathy's grandson is over there, he, you know, you think he's doing crime, but no, he's just autistic. You would know that if you were on the ground and you actually knew the community. So, you know, that's what my thing is.
Okay. Community-oriented police. That sounds fantastic. So you mentioned a little bit about the legacy at Wilkinsburg. I want to hear you talk a little bit more about it. What was the conception of the idea? How's it been like to work with Ryan? And do you think it's replicable again?
I feel like it was God that brought it together, man. Shout out to my man Malcolm for the connection. And you know, he was like, "Yo, I got this guy, man, he's a good dude." And I met him. As soon as I met Ryan, I was like, "Oh no, that's people." And then with the Donalds, it's real so small. Like we're all from Lincoln, and me, Aaron, Archie, but my cousin has kids with their sister.
Yeah.
So it's like it's man. It was like only God could do something like this, to bring it together like this for something so huge. So you know, just working with Ryan and I feel like he's just like me, man, a facts over feelings type of person. So long as you come with these facts and keep everything on the table, it's all love. And I'm just excited for it. I think it can happen again. You know, long as you got good people with good hearts that want to do this, like this is seeing. I'm proud of Ryan. Like it's like the man for real. Like just to get done, because you know, that first project you did with Shady, they got approved for the Hosanna House that's working on Penn Avenue. They got approved the same time, but they're just breaking ground and just getting that. The other one's taking applications.
Right.
That's crazy. So I'm just seeing that and just the vision, and I'm a believer. And so if anything that man you want to do, I'm talking like you're not here. Anything that you want to do, I'm behind you, 10 toes down, 100%.
No, we appreciate that. Yeah, it's been definitely a great ride and a great partnership. You know, some of the stuff that we do at the 3T group is all based around public-private partnership. And I tell people the most important piece of it always starts with the public side of it, which are the people. And Wilkinsburg, like you said, in order, like you hear different things about, oh, it's this kind of community or that. Once you get down there, they're unlike anybody else. You know what I mean? They're just good people that obviously have their own challenges, like any other community in Pennsylvania, though. But Mayor Dontae has had, you know, open arms and has, you know, led us into the right direction in terms of getting sites together and then working obviously with both the zoning side and the rest of the folks at the borough to help for our land development plans so that we can get it through a lot faster and then be able to potentially, you know, impact many more residents as possible.
Yeah, and it's crazy how, you know, it happened, and you would think like, oh yeah, Aaron Donald's doing this. Like, nah, man, he pulled up, came to the council meeting, but then even after that, he came to the school. Him and his wife came to the school with me. Them kids, that made their year. They were getting their shirts autographed, pants, shoes. I told them, don't tell your parents, don't call me. Don't call me. I told y'all to get some paper. But you know, it's like for this to happen and then jump head first into the community instead of just being like, all right, I'm gonna send Archie. No, he came and showed love. You know, so I appreciate Archie. I appreciate Aaron. I appreciate Erica. I appreciate Ryan. Like y'all all, like it's an amazing team.
Well,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And then I guess I just have one more question about, in your words, is Wilkinsburg a development-friendly city? Why or why not?
I believe it is. It's harder to go like a city of Pittsburgh, where you got people in these communities that are from different neighborhoods and they want things for themselves and for them areas. But when you come to Wilkinsburg, they all live in Wilkinsburg. So they'll just let you know what's the code, what needs variance, it's like it's way easier to know what you need and get it done instead of just somebody just saying no. You're like, well, what do I got to do? And they got you talking to someone else. It's like, no, they're right there. They're all accessible. They'll talk to you. Um, and it's not like they don't want it. It's like certain things they're like, all right, we have to go by this, and the third, and they work with you to get that happen. Any variant you need, any like if this happened in a bigger city, just to get the zone changed from a R1 to a multi-unit thing would have been. We would still be working on that right now.
Yeah, for sure.
We would still be working on it if that was the city of Pittsburgh. It's just crazy, but we're a big small town. People look at Wilkinsburg as Pittsburgh's little cousin, when in reality we are the shining stars of the eastern suburb. Like, we aren't the city, we are a suburb. We had we when we played sports, when they had a sports team, they didn't play Westinghouse and all the city. They played the Woodland Hills and all of them, North Hills, all types of them people. So we just gotta let people realize that we are the shining stars of the eastern suburbs, and we're growing. We're 14,000 strong, and with the help of Legacy Wilkinsburg, was going to Alexander House in the next year, we're adding about 80 to 100 families.
Easy.
That's next level.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And
What's the population down there in Wilkinsburg as of right now?
Right now, it's around 13,900.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yep.
So adding 80 to 100 families is very significant. Wow.
Yes, and that's just the start too, because there's a lot of going on. Because there's 40 in Legacy, there's 40 in the one on Penn Avenue. They're building 6 houses in Regent Square. The Hosanna House is also doing about 4 or 5 townhouses too. That's next to their establishment, and with these scattered developments, we could take it to the next level.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, the land bank too. With the land bank too, we can get back up to 15,000 in 5 years. Well, without a hitch.
These are some really optimistic projections. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I'm telling people back because of the last 10 years in the city of Pittsburgh. Even just talk about Black people, families, about 10,000 left, but they didn't leave Allegheny County. They went to your Swiss, Edwards, and all that. Come to Wilkinsburg. There's a right next to where Legacy Wilkinsburg is going to happen. A family bought 5 plots of land, and they're about to build their dream house. They're coming from Garfield. It's going to be a 3,000 square foot home. They already got approved for 600,000. So who knows what's going to be? It's right on that corner where they got that one house.
Yeah.
And it's just grass. It's going to be right there.
Oh, that's what's up. That's
So that's
towards like the community center was on that side, I think.
Mm-hmm. They're going to build their dream house, and they came to Wilkinsburg.
That's what's up.
That's awesome. So, Mayor, I suppose my last question for you is, how do you balance being a person and being a mayor? Like, what's your day-to-day? How do you manage it? It's
crazy. Being a person, having to have a full-time job too, because mayors, they really don't pay. Balancing, I got 2 young kids. My son's about to be 3 in May. My daughter will be 6. I got a wife. Honestly, the mayor thing never stops. But I don't let that define me, because I was who I was before I got here, and I'm gonna be him after. So, but I get calls all day and I answer them. I get emails and I answer them. So I honestly, I never take the hat off, but I don't let it disrupt what I'm doing.
It's very important. Very important. So do you feel like this is going to be a role model for your kids? They watch their dad grow up and answer all these emails, answer all these calls, and put his heart and soul into all these projects.
It's crazy because I'm not the star. My wife, she's the political guru. She's the political director right now, working for the reelect Ed Gainey. She is the Western PA political director for Workers Families Party. So it's just her out here. Everyone else is on the East. She's out here in Western PA, starting it, getting it done. Summer Lee, their role models. That's my kid's godmom. And it's so they see it a lot. So my daughter, she wants to be a doctor. She wants to be a cop, and I forgot what I said, but all at the same time though. Not, not different. So yeah, and I'm very intentional. For anything I do, I take my son with me or my daughter with me. So they're always, if I'm talking, I'm probably holding them. I got so many pictures where like they're sleeping, I'm just still having to do a speech or something. So they see it, man, from me and their mother. But more so for her, because it's crazy that she gets all the awards and everything. I'm just holding the neighborhood down, and the kids too. If you come through Wilkinsburg, you'll see me walking around with them with a wagon, just dragging them around. I walk through the neighborhood, so they see that the people are important.
Absolutely.
Wow. Absolutely. Well, I think that's all the questions I have for you today, Ryan, if you have anything.
Nope, I think we're good to go, Mayor. We appreciate you, sharing this 30, 45 minutes with us. Janice, I think you've done a great job with the interview.
Yes, thank you.
The plan is here. Obviously, we'll probably put this in text format and again, send it out to our newsletter. But there may be some snippets or clips of this that we may provide available on like Instagram and YouTube to be able to drive a little bit of traffic to the interview itself.
Perfect. I really appreciate y'all time too, because I know y'all are busy.
Yeah, we got a little bit going on for sure.
Yeah, I'm. It's crazy right now too. I'm up Seven Springs at the Allegheny League of Municipalities Conference.
Oh, okay.
I'm also doing a training with my computers right behind me. I'm doing a ready to be an executive director cohort, and then this.
Wow.
Like I got the whole.
Gosh. Oh, my Lord.
It's crazy, but I love it.
And he's got the one hood shirt on too, though, so he just holding it down all the way.
I'm a newly board member from One Hood now. So.
Oh, that's what's up. Congratulations. Yeah, there's some good folks over there. I think it was Jasiri X who I'd met probably about a year and a half ago over at Shapiro's inauguration, though. Good guy. The organization's going in a bunch of different directions from what I originally remember them as, though. But you guys are definitely doing your thing over there, though. But we appreciate your time, though, bro, for sure.
I appreciate y'all.
Okay. Have a good weekend now.
Thank you so much.
Y'all be safe. Thank you.
All right. You do the same, big dog.
Peace.
Peace.